Hi everyone, Kimba from Angel Readings by Kimba here, back for another week of fun and learning and discussing, and any questions you have, let's get right down to it. So we're gonna, we're gonna actually get started with, hey Eddie, how are you? We're gonna get started with a little bit of what I call dashboard items. I always love it when people ask me questions and kind of want to know a little bit more about who I am, what I do, and what I've been up to. So for those of you that might have known or not known, we just came back from Sedona, Arizona, and it was a fabulous trip. It was just awesome. It was hippie, and every other store was a crystal store, and there were psychics galore. So it was fantastic being able to get read by psychics. And consistently, there was a thread that they all kept saying the same thing with me. Oh, do you see that? That's Cooper. He's actually just stopping by to say hello. Cooper, come say hello. Here's Cooper. Hi. Say hello. Say hi, everybody. Okay, so little recap. I have 3 questions that I pulled from, hi Penny, how are you? I always start off with questions that people ask. This first question is from Kenyatta in Washington, D.C., and the question is, what made you become a nurse? Basically, I became a nurse because of the fact that my mom died when I was 6 years old. When I was 6, she died of lung cancer. And interestingly enough, when I graduated high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I worked for a year in a nursing home and lost a bet. And because of that bet, I think it was the Eagles versus the Dallas. And hi, Carol. And because I lost the bet, I had to go to nursing school. And that's kind of how I became a nurse, but I was working in a nursing home for a year. So Kenyatta, that's how I became a nurse, and I actually love what I did. Hi Rose, how are you? Thank you for joining. For those of you that are just joining, I always start off my sessions with 3 questions from people who like to know a little bit more about me. And the question was, what made me become a nurse? Question number 2 comes from Lloyd in Miles City, Montana. And his question is, how many pets do you have? And there's a second part to this question is, do I read animals? Hi, Bonnie. Thank you so much for joining. I just had Cooper up for a second, and if he comes back in the room, I'll be happy to lift him up again. So Lloyd's question is, how many pets do I have? I have, as you all know, I have Cooper. I have a cat, a ragdoll cat. His name is Zeus. And I have a BB canary, which really is not a canary. It's a type of a small parrot or parrotlet. He is all green, and his name is Verde. So I have those 3, and then I have a small pond in my backyard that's full of koi fish. So I guess you could say the koi fish are also pets as well. And the second part of Lloyd's question is, do I read animals? Yes, I do actually. On occasion, people will call me up and ask me if I can do an interpretive reading on what their animals are thinking, feeling, and or saying. So I'm just looking to see who else joined so I can say hello to them as well. My third question is from Julie in Anchorage, Alaska. And her question is, what nationality am I? That is interesting because I think I'm a mutt. I'm told both sets of my grandparents were from Finland. I did the 23andMe DNA test, and both sets of my grandparents were very heavily in the Russian influence, and they used to say that when I was growing up, Finland was dominated by Russia, so they also spoke Russian. So traditionally I'm Finnish, but when you go back into our history and our lineage, I'm also French and Welsh and I believe a little bit of Irish, but mostly I was surprised the 23andMe DNA kit did actually confirm I'm like 59% Finnish. So, and the other part of Julie's question is how many languages do I speak? I do speak English. I speak enough Spanish to have a really bad conversation, but I do speak some Spanish, and I do know limited Russian. So those were the 3 questions for tonight. A little bit of dashboard information. Hi, Gina. Thank you for joining. I'd like to always review and build off of what we've been working on because I think that's so important. And you'll hear me say each week, being a medium is not a secret. We all have the gift. So in the very beginning, as you remember, we talked about keeping a notebook, something like this, by your bed, and before you wake up in the mornings, writing down 3 things that you think is going to happen each day. Just tangible things. What time you think you're going to get home, what color your supervisor's shirt is going to be, and what your best friend is going to bring for lunch. At the end of the day, when you get back into bed, put a check mark next to what you think came true. Hi, Judith. How are you? That was the first week. We talked about how to strengthen your psychic muscle. The second week, we talked about getting a partner and mentally telepathy doing numbers, where you have a partner that you're sitting across from. You can even do this over the phone, and between 1 and 10, you can say to them, I'm sending you a number, and then have them think about that number, feel the number, be the number, and as you do this more often, you will find you'll start to get the number right down. That was the second week. The third week, we did our famous envelope, which is, mine's really bad, but we talked about taking an envelope, and you can do this on your own. You take different shapes, a triangle, a square, and a rectangle, and it's better if someone does it for you, where they take one of the shapes and put it in the envelope. And the envelope has to be a privacy envelope so you can't see. And what they do is they stick one of the shapes in the envelope, and then you have to hold the envelope and feel what is the shape in the envelope. These are all little tricks, tidbits, that if you're consistent, you can strengthen that psychic muscle, okay? Now, the other thing I'm going to give you for this week's homework, and as I mentioned to you before, you don't become good at anything unless you practice. So keep up with your notebook, keep up with your partner and doing the number exchange, keep up with your little envelope and your shapes. Well, you could even do colors. You don't have to do shapes. I just like shapes because colors are really difficult with me because of my diabetes. So shapes are easier for me to identify. And then today, what I'm going to give you as an exercise is something called train your mind. And basically what that means is the hardest thing for us as humans is to train our minds to think of one thing. Why? Because we live in a society where we're constantly multitasking. You're listening to me, you're probably drinking something, you're probably eating while you're listening to me, you're hearing your family in the background, or your pet is at your feet. So there's so much extrasensory stimuli going on. So what I want you to do in this next week is think of a sound, something that is soothing to you. It could be something like church bells. It could be something like a waterfall, something that you know what the sound is. It could be something like a honking horn, a piano playing a particular note, or I think of like chopsticks on a piano. It could be waves on the ocean, raindrops, particularly right now. I don't know about you guys, but since I've come home from Arizona, we have been getting hammered with rain and wind and storms. So take that sound. In this case, I'm going to pretend I chose the sound rain on a metal roof, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your phone and you're going to set it for 5 minutes. And you're going to sit in silence for 5 minutes and think of rain on a metal roof, and you're going to actually think of it where you're actually hearing it. Each time your brain starts to drift off, and each time you're hearing it and your brain says, oh, I wonder what we're doing for dinner tonight, put that thought in a red balloon, send it up. It's a helium balloon. And go back to your raindrops on a metal roof. And what you're going to do is you're going to keep refocusing your brain. It's going to be annoying as fuck. Can I say that? It's going to be so annoying the first couple of times you do this, because it's going to be like, oh my God, I can't concentrate. After a couple of times, you're going to get this down where you're going to be like, oh my God, I sat for 5 full minutes and I actually could think and focus on raindrops on a metal roof. Once you get that down, think of something else. Think of church bells. Sit for 5 minutes and think of church bells, and don't let anything distract you. Your dog walks in the room, you won't even notice. You'll get really good at that, okay? So that's going to be your homework between now and next week. I just want to pause for a minute and see who else joined. Hi, G. Hi, Jackie. Thank you so much for joining. So that's your homework between now and next week, okay? So now we have 4 things, and we're doing what I call in my lingo building blocks. We're kind of building on our psychic arena so all of us can be psychics, because we're all born with the gift. It's no big secret. And any psychic or medium who says, oh, it's a secret, run from them. It's really not. We all have the gift. Okay, so we're good? Okay. We're going to move on to the next thing. The next thing that we're going to talk about is my favorite thing, which is our featured products for the week. And I have to put my glasses on for this because it's one of my favorite things. And just so you know, we recognize Memorial Day as service of our servicemen, those who died and gave their lives. So we've extended our Memorial Day sale until June 1st. It's 25% off, and if you use the code HONOR2019 at checkout, you'll get 25% off. So our thing that we're going to feature this week are my favorites. They're called Angels to Go, and they're really simple. It basically is an archangel in a gift bag, and this particular one is Raphael. He comes in his own gift bag, and when you pull him out, he has his name. Let me see if I can put him up for you. He's very intricately detailed. He's beautiful. He's stunning. He's just amazing. This is Raphael. As you know, maybe you don't know, Raphael is the Archangel of Healing. Oh, that's my son's name on my wrist, by the way, in case you're wondering. Beautifully detailed. Beautifully detailed. This is Raphael, Archangel of Healing. Comes in his own bag. We also have, there's also a lot of fluff in the bag. I just took out the fluff so we could kind of get to the meat and potatoes of what I wanted to show you. The next one is Gabriel. Gabriel, for those of you that might not know, is the Archangel of Communication. So whenever I run into someone and I'm not really sure if I'm going to mesh with them, I always call on this archangel to help me communicate what I need to say, how I need to say it, and more importantly, that it gets received, because this particular archangel is very handy for making sure that our communication is received as well as spoken well. So this is Gabriel. He's got his trumpet. He's all about messages, incoming and outgoing. So this is a very important, and I'll hold them up a little bit closer so you can see. Each of the angels have their name on the bottom of their stands, which I love. So this is Gabriel, all about information, communication, thoughts, processes, anything that you want to know that has to do with communication, written, fax, texts, telephonic, emails. So this is the guy you want to talk to. Each of these are $7.99, and they're 3 1/4 inches high. So I'm kind of holding it up closer to the screen so you can really see the details. The next one I have is Michael, the Archangel Michael. Now, mind you, they all come bagged and they all come with their names. So Michael, as you know, I think Michael's probably the most popular and the most well-known. He's all about protection. I always say it's not just physical, it's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual. I love Michael. I call on him all the time because God only knows I need it. I need it mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. I need it more than just the physical realm. So this is Michael. He also has his name at the bottom of his thing. And when I spin him around, he has his wings. He has a shield and a sword. Another one of my favorites. We only carry the 4 big ones, which is Michael, Gabriel, Raphael for healing, and Uriel. He's the next one. This is Uriel. He also comes in a bag. And Uriel has to do with, see, here's some of the fluff. Uriel has to do with wisdom, knowledge, education, enlightenment, has to be with intelligence. Comes in a variety of forms, schooling, higher education. This is the guy you want to call when you need help. I called on him a lot when I was in nursing school. I call on him a lot when I'm dealing with people because, let's face it, people can be trying. And sometimes it's difficult communicating what it is I want to say to someone who might not be on the same level as me. And I want to do it in a way that I'm reaching them intellectually. Does that make sense? So this guy is an amazing guy to call on. So we have the 4. We have Michael's for protection, Raphael for healing, Uriel for wisdom, knowledge, higher attunement to God and the divine, and then we have Gabriel for communication. Each of them are $7.99 each. I'll see how many I can hold in my hand. How many do you think I can hold? They're each 3 1/4 inches high. They're not that big, and they each come in their own box or their own bag. Excuse me. $7.99, 25% off if you use the code HONOR2019 at checkout. So they're my favorite. They make a great little desk piece if you sit at a desk. They also make a great little gift for someone who you know might be struggling in a particular area. So 4 little gift bags. They come just like this. And then I make sure when we send them in a 5x5 box. And they're bubble wrapped because I think that's really important that they get to you safely. So I feel like the Archangel Michael, making sure they get to you safe. But they're my favorite. So, and each of them, as I mentioned, have their name on the bag. So they're the featured products for this week. Cute little gifts, cute little, I'm thinking of you, as my dad used to say, warm fuzzies. My dad used to always send me a note or flowers every so often, and he'd call them warm fuzzies. So at checkout, use the code HONOR2019, and that will surely get you 25% off until June 1st. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of today and talk about what's going on, because there's a lot going on in the world today, and a lot of the buzzwords that we hear are intention and manifestation. What really does that mean? Can you really make your life better? Can you really make things happen? Yeah, I do believe that. I think a lot of it has to do with positivity and your attitude. And a lot of it has to do with how you treat yourself. How you respect yourself projects how other people are going to respect and treat you. So with that being said, I'm going to pull up my first little sign. 7 things that you should quit saying immediately. And I'm going to get my pen for this one. Stop saying, I wish, I want, I could, I hope, I try, I need, I desire. And you're thinking, Kimba, have you lost your mind? No, I really haven't, and I'll tell you why. When you say any of these words, I wish, I want, I could, I hope, I try, I need, I desire, they're basically, I'm going to shimmy this over, passive and very open-ended. So when you say to the universe, I wish, the universe is like, you wish? Don't we all wish? You understand what I'm saying? So when you say, I want, the universe is laughing, and your angels are laughing because they're saying, yeah, we want too. When you say, I could, the universe is saying, I could too. It's very passive. It's very open-ended. So what you need to do is you need to turn that shit around and say, I choose or I choose not. Because now there's no room for wiggle room. Do you follow me? So when you say, I choose that I want a soulmate, boom, you just kind of said to the universe, I just locked that down. I choose I want a soulmate. I choose not to participate in negative, toxic behavior where people continually talk about people. See the difference? Choose and choose not. It's very clear, it's very concise, and there is no wiggle room. And the universe is saying, oh, snap, they're suddenly getting it. Because now, all of a sudden, you're telling the universe what you want, but you're basically now honing in and being crystal clear. Follow me? Okay, let's give you some examples. So a friend gives you a gift, right? And you might or might not like the gift. So if they give you a gift that you don't particularly like, are you going to sit there and say you don't like it, or are you going to be gracious and say you do like it? Well, most people are going to say thank you because you want to be grateful, but you don't want to hurt your best friend's feelings. So in that situation, you just want to say, I choose to be grateful. But when you want to manifest something, you have to first have an intention. An intention is basically a goal, a plan, a target, something that you want in your life. It's no different than when you're at a job and you have deadlines. So I kind of look at it an intention as a deadline, something that you want to get done is another way of saying intention. You know, because these are buzzwords we hear all the time. It just kind of seems to be something that we hear about, but does anyone really break it down for us? Manifestation, on the other hand, is basically another way of saying it's the ability to produce what we needed to get done. Or maybe another way of putting these two together is intention is, because it's the springtime, intention is what you sowed in the ground, what you've planted, okay? Manifestation is what you're harvesting. Does that make sense? Okay, because if you look at it that way, intention is what you're sowing or what you're planting, and manifestation is what you're reaping and or harvesting. That should help you with your goals, okay? So that should help you kind of put these two words, not to rest because they're beautiful words, but kind of put them in an area on your mental dashboard about what do people mean when they say intention and manifestation. Now, the moon cycles have a lot to do with intention and manifestation. New moons are around the time that we actually plant, so to speak, or we call forth our intentions of what we want. It could be anything from, do you want a new job? Do you want something to happen in your life? Do you want a new love? Do you want to move, relocation? And then the full moon, when the moon is at its peak, it's completely full. That's when you harvest what your intention was. Did it happen at that time? You kind of look back and look at your progress is another way of looking at it. So I just want to stop a minute and say hi to everyone. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Erica. Nancy. Hi, Jerry. Hi, Diane. Hi, G. Rinny. How are you? Thank you so much for joining. And Gina, thank you so much. I will always stop every so often and just acknowledge everyone because I think that's really important. So am I making sense about intention and manifestation so far? Is that clicking? Because I know they're really, really big buzzwords, but I kind of want to break it down because it is really important and we do create our destinies. Just like when we're in a relationship that we know isn't good for us, we created the destiny by saying, you know what, I got to break up with this person, it's not working. Or if we're in a job and we know it's not the right job for us, what do? We give our 2 weeks notice, right? Yeah, it's no different. So with intention and manifestation, think of it as every new moon, you're going to set forth or make a goal of what you want in your life. And it can be anything from you want a vacation, so you're going to start setting money aside. You want a new job. You want a soulmate. You want to move. It could be something as more personal as you'd like to see a relationship healed in your life. That's an intention too. It doesn't have to just be physical. And then manifestation is going to happen around the full moon. And that's when you're going to take stock and say, did my intention that I set on the new moon, did that happen? Did it come to fruition? And if it didn't, it's okay. Carry on to the next month. Sometimes things don't always happen in a month period. We all know this. Sometimes it takes a while, and that's okay. Keep throwing it out to the universe, because the more you throw it out to the universe, and be specific, I choose not. Get rid of these words immediately. Get rid of I wish, I want, I could, I hope, I try, I need, I desire. Why? Because they are passive and open-ended words. Make sense? Okay. Instead, I want you to start using the words I choose or I choose not, because they're very clear and concise. And this way you're kind of dialing into the universe by saying, boom, this is what I want, or this is what I don't want. And your angels are like, got it. They're crystal clear. We suddenly understand what they want, because it's no longer an open-ended statement of I desire or I want, I think, I might, I could. The angels are like, what the hell does that mean? Got it? Does that make sense? Does that kind of help you out a little bit? Now, I'm going to give you something you can do that's a fun project, because I know you all are fun just like me. No, I'm being silly, but I always feel like when you do something with fun and in love, the universe responds to you. Last time we met, I gave you the object of a honey jar. Did you do it? Did you have fun with it? Send me pictures. I want to see what happened. I want to know, what was your honey jar? Was it for love? Was it for money? Was it for finances? What was it for? Did you date it? Has it come to pass, or are you still waiting? Tonight, I'm going to show you how to do a candle intention jar. And as you can see by mine, it's about love. This is basically I think this probably cost me, I don't know, maybe $7 tops. You basically just get a candle that's long and glass, and you set your intention. Now remember, we said intentions are goals. Intentions are what we desire, what we want. And as you all know, I'm looking for my soulmate. So I cut out words from a magazine or magazines that had to do with what I wanted in a man. It's just that simple. So I wrote down, I'll read it to you. You want me to read it to you? Okay. I wrote down spirit because I want a man who has the same spirit as me. Love is pretty much self-explanatory. Let's see. Limited edition. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I want a man who is a limited edition. See the wonderful. I want a man who can see the wonderful in me, because you know what? I'm perfectly imperfect. So I want him to be able to see the wonderful in me, but the imperfect in me as well. And this one, I'm just going to point to because I think you guys can read that. That's, don't be afraid to be specific with the universe. The universe gets it, and they laugh, but they also are joyous with us. They know what we want. So you do your candle intention on the new moon. Remember, the new moon is metaphorically when we plant our seeds, when we plant our goals. Okay? So you're going to do your candle intention, and it can be anything. Mine happened to do with love. Yours could do new job, moving, whatever it is you want to see in your life. Okay? The new or the full moon, okay, you're going to like this bad boy. And you're basically going to, for the full moon, light it for a couple of hours outside, monitor it. You're just not going to leave it. And you're basically going to say a prayer to the universe outside saying, here's my intention candle. Don't be afraid to read it to the outside. See the wonderful. Mine says the one and only, because I'm not sharing my man with anyone. Loud and clear. I thought that was funny because I wanted the universe to hear me loud and clear. Happy. I want to be, let me see. I want to be happy. And then this says transformation. That's what this is that goes all the way around. Transformation. Love. So you kind of get the idea. It's a fun project. And then what I did, if you're wondering how I got the glitter, is there's a thing called Mod Podge, MODPODGE. It's a glue. You just slap the magazine cutouts on the glass and just glue it on. It's a brush. And I happen to use glitter because I love glitter. I'm like a moth to a flame with glitter. So that's all you do. And it dries really fast. So new moon. And I wrote this down to help us out. The new moon for us for June, okay, is June 3rd. So June 3rd or even June 2nd, you can make these. Make your intention candles. And as you can see, I've kind of burnt mine kind of down pretty far. The full moon for June is June 17th, okay? So don't be afraid to do this. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Brenda. So this is our candle intention jar. It's a fun project. You can involve the kids. You can involve the family. You can pretty much use any magazine. People magazines, Cosmopolitan, even National Geographic has some pretty cool photos. If you really were looking like to move, you could do those. So again, you want to do this on the new moon. You're planting your seeds, your intention, your goals, what you want to see in your life, new moon, and that would be June 3rd. The full moon is when you harvest or you check in to see if it came to fruition, and that would be June 17th. That's the full moon, okay? That's when you light this. Some people say you can light your candle in between the new moon, and the full moon sporadically. I kind of do it in between because I love candles. Let me know how that goes for you, okay? Keep me posted because I love hearing back what your intentions were. Did it work? Did it happen? Are you still waiting? Now, another thing before I get to reading people is there's two things I want to let you know about in case you didn't know. I will be at the Phoenixville Psychic Fair September 7th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And that is on Main and Bridge Streets in Phoenixville. So if you have any questions, and I'm going to see if I can kind of tilt this, if you have any questions, come visit me at my booth. I'll be doing angel and tarot readings. That's the Phoenixville Psychic Fair, September 7th from 10 to 5. It's literally on Main and Bridge Street in Phoenixville. So save the date, okay? The other thing I wanted to put on your dashboard so you could also save the date. Now, this is also on my page. So this is the 39th Annual Media, Food, and Craft Festival. This is Sunday, October 6th. Let me just see if I can put this behind it. There we go. Media, Food, and Craft Festival, Sunday, October 6th from 9 to 5. And this is on State Street Media. And if you have questions, come see me at my booth. I'll be doing angel and tarot readings. And I'm not quite sure of the pricing. So I usually do, for my pricing, $40 for 15 minutes and then $25 for 10. But I'll see. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. I'm going to kind of wait and see what spirit guides me to for that day. So 2 fantastical events. I should hold them like this, right? Phoenixville Psychic Fair. Phoenixville Psychic Fair, by the way, is nothing but all psychics. So if you're really into psychics and you really, really, really want to just spend the day with psychics and get read all day long, this is where you want to come. Phoenixville Psychic Fair, September 7th, 10 to 5, Main and Bridge Streets, Phoenixville, PA. And then 39th Media, Food and Craft Festival, Sunday, October 6th. Those are just 2 things I kind of wanted to get out of the way. We know we're going to stop using these words immediately, which is I wish, I want, I could, I hope, I try, I need, I desire, because they're passive and open-ended and the universe doesn't like them. We're going to switch that to I choose or I choose not, because this way you don't leave any wiggle room for the universe. Capiche? Okay. So let's get to some readings. If you don't mind, I'm going to eat some orange slices. They're just mini oranges because I can feel my sugars dropping. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask. Now's the time because I'm looking over my notes. In case if you're wondering what I'm looking at, I'm looking over my notes to make sure I went over everything I wanted to go over with you because I don't want to waste your hour. I think it's really important that each week we review, we build on, and then we really get to some readings. And that's really the intent of what we want to do here. So who's got a question for me? As I stuff an orange in my mouth, right? Hi, Kathy. Thank you so much for joining. Does anyone have any questions? If you don't have any questions in terms of tarot that you'd like me to throw, I'll be happy to answer any questions about mediumship that you might want to know. So feel free. I'm here. I'm here until 9. I'm here to support you. I'm here to help you. So if you have any questions and there's nothing that you want me to answer, I could do and specify. If you have a question and you don't want me to do tarot, I'm okay with that. Just specify angel cards, and I'll be happy to do that for you. Brenda, you said you keep missing it. What do you keep missing? Okay. Okay, G, you said, I choose to move from the West Coast to South. Will my move be successful? Thank you. Okay, I pulled the Ace of Swords, and the Ace of Swords I'm going to show you is all about productivity. It's also about venture, and I love that because swords are very decisive cards. I love the Ace of Swords because it tells me, let me put my oranges down. It tells me, yes, it's going to be very successful for you. But when you say you're moving from the West Coast to South, I have to say, what's popping up in my mind is almost like, I feel like you're moving close to the Mexico area, not Mexico. Please understand me, I'm not saying Mexico, but I feel like almost like on the border, like Albuquerque, New Mexico, that type of when I say south. So could you validate if you're moving anywhere near that type of south when you say south? Or when you say West Coast to South, will your move be successful? This card says yes, absolutely. I also feel like this is job related. So I do feel like it will be successful. I feel like the only thing that I feel like the angels are saying is that make sure all your travel documents are in one spot, because I feel like there could be a little bit of a problem with them getting misplaced. And that's not a bad thing, but it can be an annoyance when particularly you're moving and you really need those documents. I don't feel you need them per se to move, but when you move, you want to make sure you have everything with you. Does that make sense? Keep me posted. Does anyone else have any other questions? Or questions about mediumship or anything you want to learn? That's why we're doing this, because I'm here to serve you, I'm here to help you, or answer any questions that you might have. I'm just scrolling back up to see if I missed anyone. Rini, I'm sorry, I hope I'm saying your name right. I apologize if I'm not. I need to know if I should stay and not give up or walk away because it's a lost cause. I feel like, and I say I feel because I feel like you're referring to a relationship. So is it okay, Rennie, if I do tarot with this? Just give me a yay or a nay, because I feel led to do tarot with this question. I'd be happy to do angel if you prefer angel cards. I always like to give people an answer, a choice, because I feel like it's up to you. You should stay. Oh, Page of Pentacles. Pentacles are all about money, scholarships, further schooling. I feel like when you say you need to know if you should stay and not give up or walk away because it's a lost cause, I feel like what they're saying by this card is you're going to go back to some sort of schooling and or higher education. And that higher education is going to further you along so you can be single and or independent, if that makes any sense. I feel like right now I'm being led or shown that there's a dependence that you have on this person for a financial need. And the Page of Pentacles is telling me there's a schooling that you could do to free yourself to actually become more financially independent. And therefore, yes, you would be able to walk away. So hit me up, because I'd be curious as to what you do and what you could do education-wise that would enable you to have that freedom. Because I'm always about women empowering ourselves and getting any type of education more than what we have so we can be independent. I'm always encouraging my daughter, get a degree, because in today's day and age, if you ever need to be self-sufficient, you need that degree to fall back on. So Rinny, if you can, just validate for me if that answered your question. The other card I pulled is the Page of Wands. Page of Wands is all about springtime and or travel. So I feel like between these two cards, yes, I feel like you are going to go your separate ways, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I do feel like the separate ways is going to be better for you, because I feel like it will enable you to go back to school or some sort of schooling to give you the financial needs and means so you can be more independent. Let me know if that makes sense, because I feel like that's what I'm being led to say, and that's what the cards are showing me. Who's next? Who's got more? I could keep going all night. I'll go as long as you guys want me to. So, G, I have to ask you, did that answer your question about the West Coast and the South? Keep me posted on that. I'm sorry I keep moving. When I was in the Grand Canyon, I was being funny and standing on these rocks to get a photo like this, and I kind of slipped off one of the rocks, and my tailbone's a little sore. So every so often I kind of have to move. But who's next? Come on, I know you guys have questions. I know you have things you want to ask me. So don't be shy. I'm here to serve you. And if you don't have anything that you feel like you can ask me about mediumship. Okay, here we go. Alma. Hi, Alma. Thank you so much for joining. Is there a message from your husband? Oh, my God. Oh, and I say, oh, my God, because I almost want to cry. Alma, if I was reading you face to face, okay, and you were sitting across from me, I would want to go like this and cup your cheeks, okay? And I don't know why, but I almost want to say Frank Sinatra was your song, like New York, New York. Can you validate that for me? Because yes, I do feel like he's with you every day. And yet I feel angry at the same time. I feel immense love, Alma, from your husband. Immense love. He's with you every day. But I feel angry. And what I mean by that is I feel like he went too soon. I feel like that's where the anger comes in, that he was taken too soon and he didn't have time to prepare. Does that make sense? It's almost like I want to say, damn it, I didn't have time to say goodbye. I didn't have time. Like I suddenly feel angry. But it's almost like now that that's gone, he's still with you, and there's a Frank Sinatra connection. And I want to scream New York, New York, the song, dun, 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 dun. So Alma, if you could validate that for me, I would be so grateful. But yes, he's with you all the time, and there's something about the way he would cup your face. He's with you, yes, absolutely. And something about the Archangel Michael was your husband's go-to person. Kathy Lee Lawrence, your son. Message from your son. I have to do this. Kathy, this is going to look weird, but I'm going to do it. Your son, almost like this. Something about the eyebrows. I want to say your son was young, like under 20. I don't know why, and I'm going to caveat this, okay? Because I was always trained to not bullshit people. So I don't know why he's saying he's sorry. But your son is definitely with you, and I don't understand this. The licking of the fingers and then the smoothing out of the eyebrows. So Kathy Lee Lawrence, the message from your son is that he's with you 100% all the time. And, 100% all the time, 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 and, 1 Thank you. It's like he's also acknowledging you occasionally go into his room and his bedroom is untouched. It's almost like, thank you. It's almost like you've kept it the way it was from the day he died, and he acknowledges that you go in there because it's your safe haven. So Kathy, if you could validate that for me, I would love that. Nancy, hi Nancy. Does your dad and sister have a message for me? And will you and your ex get back together, or are you wasting your time? Oh, okay, well that's a lot. So let's start from the beginning. First of all, let's kind of tear this apart piece by piece. Does your dad have a message for you? Your dad is showing me he loved to cook. He loved to cook. So Nancy Osegreda Gonzalez, I'm talking to you. If you could validate for me that your dad loved to cook, because he's showing me some sort of like I would call it in my lingo, like tortillas he's making with his hands, and that you were his favorite. But he's saying you already know this. And then your sister is saying she's with you. Did they cross over together, and or if they didn't cross over together, did they cross over almost like within the same time frame, like within a year of each other? Because I feel like they're holding hands saying it was almost simultaneously or back to back. But your sister is saying she's got your back, and she's almost doing the Mr. Roboto dance. I don't know what that means. I'm trying to think. Mr. Roboto, wasn't that like a 1980s like song? But she's showing me that. Will you and your ex get back together? Now that I don't know. So girlfriend, I'm going to flip some tarot on that. Okay, I have the Two of Pentacles on this. Two of Pentacles basically tells me, Pentacles, if you recall, because each week I'll teach you a little bit about tarot as well. Pentacles have to do with money. Money coming in, money going out, and that's specifically what this card is showing me. This card is showing me the juggling of money. It's going in, it's going out. It's going in, it's going out. So when you say, will you go back with your ex? I don't know. And I say that because, see his hat? Right here. The hat. See how tall it is? That tells me he's got a lot going on. As we all do. Let me caveat that. Anyone who tells you that they're perfect and they don't have anything going on, they're lying. We all have shit going on in our lives. I'm going to caveat that. But your ex has a lot more going on in his life than the average person, and I don't know if his coping skills are up to par. So when you say, will you and your ex get back together? I don't know, because what I'm seeing here by this card is it's telling me he's not well in handling money. So that tells me money's going in, money's going out as fast as he's making it. But it also tells me here by the hat, see how his hat is really elongated? That tells me he doesn't have control of his emotions. And that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. But it tells me he's kind of in the relationship one day, but then the next day he's like, nah, I don't know if I want to be in the relationship. So there isn't stability. Like either you're in it or you're not. You know, it's that expression, I'm in it to win it. I kind of feel like he's half in, he's half out, and he can't make up his mind. But he doesn't have a hold on his emotions, if that makes any sense. So based on this card, I would say he has a lot on his plate that I think if he can't get it together and take care of himself first, he certainly can't give himself to you in a relationship. Does that make sense? Because he just has so much going on in his head that I just think, I don't think he's got to take care of himself, and I think he has to heal himself. I went to Sedona last week to do a lot of healing from my past, as we all have to at some point. So to answer your question, based on this, I think he has to kind of confront his own demons, his own past, whatever he's holding on to, so he can kind of come to you. But based on this card, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I think he's going to constantly be juggling you until you make a decision, or until he decides he's going to get his shit together. Can I say that? Can I say that? But I just feel like that's what the card is saying. Hi, Rennie. Hi, G. Gina, did you meet your soulmate? Well, let's see. I'm just flipping the cards here. Did you meet your soulmate? This is for Gina McHale. This is the card I got, which is the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is all about completion, and one last stick or wand has to go in the ground. So this pretty much tells me you've met, pretend every wand here is a guy you've been with, and this is the last guy that you're with. Yeah, I do think this is your soulmate, but I think you have to proceed cautiously, because what I'm hearing is that he might not be telling you everything. So it's not a bad thing, but what I'm hearing also is that all that glitters isn't gold. So not a bad thing. I feel like you've kissed a lot of frogs to meet this prince, but do your research and just make sure that what he's saying lines up. Does that make sense? And if it does, then yeah, I do think he's your soulmate. I do. Just make sure that his words and his actions are in alignment, if that makes sense. Okay. Diane Camerot, I hope I'm saying your name right. I apologize if I'm screwing up anyone's names. I'm so sorry. But I do love each and every one of you. I do want you to know that. So Diane Camerot, you'd like to buy 4 angels. How can you do that? Okay. You can go directly to my website, which is angelreadingsbykimba.com, and click on figurines and go to the little angels. So once again, Angel Readings by Kimba, enter store, click on figurines, and then scroll down till you find the Angels to Go is what they're called. And once I'm done the podcast, I'll be more than happy to answer you in a text and kind of talk you through it, because it's relatively easy. But they're sold on my website. Kelly, can you have some insight on your career? You sure can, girlfriend. Of course. I love your name, Kelly, by the way. I used to hate my name because growing up, my name was Kimberly, and my dad tagged me Kimba. I don't know if you guys knew this. This is a piece of information. My dad, who I don't know if you can see over here, I'm trying to figure out how to do that. Over there, that would be my dad kissing Cooper when he was in the nursing home. But growing up, my full name was Kimberly Ann, and my dad tagged me Kimba because he said in the 50s was a cartoon called Kimba the White Lion. So that's how I got the name Kimba. I hated it growing up, hated it, until I hit my late teens, and there was me, Kim, another Kim, and then a Kim A. So when the boys started coming around, I was the only Kimba. That's when I suddenly liked my name. But okay, so Kelly, you wanted some insight on your career. I pulled the Magician. I love the Magician card because the Magician card is all about alchemy. It's all about being able to create. And basically, this card, if you notice, he has all the elements. He's got all the tarot things. He's got the pentacles. He's got the cups. He's got the wands. He's got the swords. They're all the suits in the tarot deck. So that pretty much tells me you're pretty handy. And when I say handy, I mean you're versatile. An analogy I could give you is that I'm a nurse. So when I was in the nursing field, they would pull us to other floors. So yes, I was an operating room nurse, but I did a lot of med-surg floor work. In the end of my career, I did a lot of geriatric work because I love old people, and now I do hospice. So this is what I mean when I say you're very versatile, is that you, in your current career, you kind of change your hat a lot of times, is what I'm saying. So insight on your career, and this is more of a rhetorical question. It's almost like they're saying, and I'm stuttering, have you gotten your raise yet? Because it's like I see a supervisory position coming up for you. Here's the kicker. Ready for this? And I'm holding this so you can see it. In this card are roses. Roses usually are indicated by springtime, summertime. I don't think, I might be wrong, but I don't think roses bloom in the late fall. So I think by now, and let's say by the end of July, you're going to have a promotion. And I think it's going to be fruitful because a magician is the type of person who can make shit happen. And they're confident. So yeah, Kelly, I do think your career is going to go far for you. And I like that because whatever you do, and please text me because I'm curious what you do, it gives you the versatility that most people don't have. So I'm happy about that. But please keep me posted. Hi, Melissa Eggers. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, thank you. Kathy Lee Lawrence, 16-year-old. Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you, Kathy, for validating that. Okay, Alma. Alma validated. Yes, it's true. He did go too soon. He quit dialysis. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. And you do love New York. Yes, and Frank Sinatra. Thank you for that validation. Thank you, thank you. Because it's like he was singing Frank Sinatra about New York, New York. I don't know, Alma, what this means, him cupping your cheeks. It's almost like a very affectionate gesture. Michelle Ramadas, hello and blessings to you as well. Michelle Ramadas, your mom. You were the only child. There's nothing like a mother's love. And I don't know why I'm saying that, but, and Easter, purple butterflies. Hold on. Thank you. Thank you. So Michelle Ramadas, and I hope I'm saying your name correctly. Please, if I'm saying it wrong, I'm so sorry. Your mother loves you so much. She's so proud of you. And it's almost like if you were sitting in front of me, I would want to lovingly move your bangs for you. It's almost like she would always fuss with your hair. And I love that because as mothers, don't we always fuss with our children? But she's so proud of you and where you are today. And I'm saying that slowly because it's like she wants to emphasize where you are today compared to where you came from. Thank you. And it's like she's acknowledging you went through some hurdles, as we all have been, but she's acknowledging she's so incredibly proud of you. And I have to say, Michelle, I want to go like this. I'm going to back up so you can see me a little bit better. I want to go like this because she's showing me this area, okay? So I don't know what came first, okay? I don't know if it was breast cancer and or lung cancer, but she's showing me the chest cavity. And she wants you to know that she's okay and that she's in a better place. And that, thank you. She's showing me, thank you. Pink roses. I don't know what pink roses mean to you, Michelle, but she's showing me pink roses, just tons of pink roses. So she's around you all the time. Alma, Oh, I'm so glad, Alma, that you feel joyous. Your joy is my joy. Hi, Millie. How are you? Thank you so much for joining. Rennie, you're saying, Rennie Davis, did Dad get your message the other night to watch over him? I need him to protect him. Of course, of course. You know, here's the thing. When our family members, loved ones, friends, even our pets cross over to the ethereal realm, they can hear us. And I always encourage people, talk to them. They know they're right with us. There's not a hospital that's confining them like when they're on the earthly plane. My dad was in a nursing home. So talk to him. He hears you. Yes, he does. Let's see. Gina McHale. Oh, good. So you did understand what I was saying. Good, good, good. And Nancy said sense. Oh, good, 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 good. Michelle. Rennie, you hated your name too? Oh, I get it. I totally get it. I totally get it. And Bonnie. Bonnie Giandra. I know I just messed up that name, and I'm so sorry. You said, what is in the near future for you and your job? So let's see. Let's see, girlfriends. Because Bonnie, you know, oh, and I say, oh, because it's like, whoa, the world. The world is one of the best cards to get. Pardon me. Let me show you something about the world. And I have to always look at my pens to make sure I'm not marking the cards. The world, just so you know, has all of the 4 elements. It's got earth in each of the corners. It's got earth, wind, fire, and air, and water. Okay, so that's one of the things I love about the world. But it also talks about completion. And I say completion because look at the oval, okay, that the dancer's in. And then the other thing is, if you look at the infinity symbol, there's 2. Here's an infinity symbol up here, and there's an infinity symbol down here. So that tells me a lot is going on for you, but I feel almost like you're going to be offered a raise, but this raise is going to come with a promotion, and it's supervisory. But here's the catch. Some people say, when they interpret this card, she's a dancer. I say this particular interpretation is she's a writer. See the batons? Some people say these are batons. I'm interpreting this as being pens that she's holding. So I think this position that you're going to get elevated to is going to have to do a lot of writing. Is it a bad thing? If you like to write, I don't like to write. One of the things I don't like about nursing nowadays in the hospitals is it's all charting. It's all documentation. Not a bad thing, but it kind of takes away from patient care. So what I'm seeing is your job is going to do and have a lot of writing, documentation of some sort. So Bonnie, if you could kind of validate that for me, I'd be curious as to what it is you do. Michelle, you said, wow, big ones. Oh, good, 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 good. Casket flowers. So they were big pink roses. Oh, my God. Well, she's acknowledging that, Michelle. And Diane. Diane Camrote. I hope I'm saying your name right. Said your daughter's having surgery tomorrow. I will say a novena for her. By the way, look up, because we do this when I used to be in the operating room. There is, if you Google surgical novena, there actually is a novena that you can actually say for patients that are having surgery. How cool is that? So I will keep her, you know, in my prayers. And I do believe in prayer. I do believe it's communication with your angels. And I don't believe, this is just me, I don't believe it has to be like this, with your eyes closed at nighttime. I think that's archaic. I talk to my angels all the time, and I call it communication, but I don't necessarily believe praying has to be the formal, hands folded at nighttime before bed, because I communicate with my angels all day long. In fact, my neighbors probably think I'm crazy because they hear me talking to myself, when really I'm not talking to myself, I'm talking to my angels. Oh, so your daughter has surgery on Monday and your husband has surgery on the 24th? Girlfriend, fall back on your angels. I can't tell you not to be worried, because, yeah, you've got 2 family members going for surgery. So I'd be a jackass if I said don't worry. What I can tell you is I'm here for you. If you want to text me, girl, feel free to light it up and text me, and I'll say novenas for you and with you. And I will try to find that surgical novena, because that's always a comfort. And don't be afraid to call in the Archangel Michael. It's no different than, Diane, when you, during the day, decide you're going to call a friend, phone the Archangel Michael and be like, dude, I need you. I need to fall back on you because I need your protection. They need your protection. We need your support, mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. Don't be afraid to call on the Archangel Michael. The angels know we need them, but they need to hear you say what you need. Does that make sense? Okay. I'm just scrolling down here. I'm not ignoring you. Rebecca, my boyfriend just passed away unexpectedly. Rebecca, I have to almost say he died unexpectedly, because as soon as I read that again, it's almost like, and I'm kind of looking up, because it's like, I feel like it was cardiac related, but I say cardiac because it's like, what came first? I feel like it was something in the head, like, I don't know if it was stroke related, and then it pinged or bounced back to cardiac. I'm not sure, but I'm getting those 2 things, like cardiac versus stroke. TIA is what we call it nursing. I'm not sure. Is he with you? Absolutely. And it's almost like, thank you. He's saying, because I feel like you've had this conversation with him when he was present on this earthly plane, that if anything ever happened to him, and or if anything ever happened to you, you both would want each other to find someone else. Difficult? Oh yeah. Hell yeah. But know that he's with you all the time, and that at nighttime, as you're dropping into REM sleep is our deepest part of sleep. Every so often you'll feel a jolt, and you think that someone just jumped on your bed. It's him. So know that he's with you, and I don't know why, but I'm going to say something about a red car. He wants you to remember the red car, kind of like my glasses. My glasses are more like pink, but he's saying remember the red car. So with love from me to you, I don't know what that means, and a lot of my messages are not from me. So whatever it is about the red car, Rebecca, he wants you to lovingly remember that. Millie, messages from your parents. Oh God, as soon as I say that, it's like I have to almost laugh, because it's like they're almost saying, you need to smile more. You need to smile more. And I love that. Your dad. And I could almost try it. It's like your dad wants to take a cherry tomato. Pretend this is a cherry tomato and go like this. Okay, I missed. But you get the idea? So Millie Funkhauser, your dad is showing me him throwing up cherry tomatoes and catching them with his mouth. So I don't know if he was an avid gardener, and or if that was something he could just do, catching things with his mouth. And your mom is so proud of you. Your mom wants to know, thank you, why you're not wearing her jewelry. Thank you. It's almost like she's saying it's a locket of sorts, gold toned. I want to say gold tone because I can't tell the difference between gold and silver at this point. So I'm going to say gold toned is what came to me first. I'm going to stick with that. It's almost like you inherited some sort of a gold locket type of necklace from her, and she wants to know why you're not wearing it. If it's too painful, wear it with pride. It would give her joy. Does that make sense? If you could validate that for me, I'd be so honored. Hi, Pina. How have you been, girlfriend? Mwah. A big hug and a kiss for Pina Morrow. Kelly Manson. You do wear a lot of hats. Oh, fantastic. And you do work for the elderly. Oh, and a nature photographer. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I think you will do well, Kelly. Kelly Manson, I think you will do fantastical. And that kind of is that magician card that we saw. So fantastic, because I think things are going to go fantastic for you, and your creativity is just going to flow. Zoe Stanton, how are you? Is your job going to straighten out and get better? Girl, I say girl, because it's like, this is the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups women I love. They're very intuitive. They're very secretive. But what I love about Queen of Cups women is, see how she's looking down? She's looking at her pot, so to speak. Queen of Cups women are what we call secret holders. You could tell a Queen of Cups woman something, and she would never make fun of you. She would never belittle you for your feelings, okay? This is you. So when you ask me, is your job going to straighten out and get better? I almost have to ask you, your supervisor, your person that you answer to, until they move on, because I feel like right now the person you're answering to directly is kind of, I don't know how to really even say it. I just feel like they're not the easiest person to work with. But I feel like once they move on and get that regional position, does that make sense? Yeah, I think things will get smoother. But I don't see that happening till like January or February. So in the meantime, you're going to keep doing your own thing. You're going to be a base of support for your other employees, because the other employees love you. You're the secret keeper. You kind of are very intuitive. You know what's going on. You know the shit that's going down, but you're also not in anyone's face about it. So you're very level-headed. I see that it's a rough time. And let's be honest, managers can really be the best leaders in the world, or man, they can make our lives hell. They really can. So I think it's going to be a while. Just buckle up, hold on, and I think this person is going to have a I think this person's going to have a promotion, and they're going to be out of your hair, but it's going to be a while. Linnell, hi Linnell, how are you? Thank you for joining. Any message from your mom? You know, I have to take off my glasses to say this because I'm going to get so excited. Sweet potato pie. It's like, Linnell, your mom was a baker. Okay. When I talk to women, it's like, I am always fascinated. Did they cook or did they bake? And it's like, mom was more of a baker. She could cook. I mean, don't mess with her mad skills with cooking. But yeah, she loved to bake. And thank you. Holiday gatherings were her thing, you know, and thank you. She's showing me that she tossed the baton to you. So make a wish. Anytime any of you ever, that's my stern voice, ever get read by a medium and they flip this card, they should tell you to make a wish. So Linnell, make a wish. I'll give you a couple seconds. Do, 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 do. Okay. Are you done your wish? Okay. So your mom is so with you all the time. And I have to say this, Linnell, she's saying you have her personality, but you look more like your dad. Does that make sense? So hold that close to your heart, that you have your mom's personality, even though you look like your dad, and know that your wish that you just wished on will come true. Now, I want you to remember June 3rd is the new moon. Make that wish again. And then June 17th, which is the full moon, make it, see if it came to fruition, okay? I'm going to take one more, and then we're going to recap for the night because I see it's 9:21. Let's see. Emily Melgar, how are you, love? You want to know what I see in the future for you, for work and for love. Okay. Well, the first card I pulled was the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands are all about productivity, business, growth, entrepreneurship. So in terms of the first half of your question, what do I see about the future for work? I see it's going on. I feel like you're working for someone right now. Can you validate that for me, Emily Melgar? But I feel like you have the capacity to completely quit what you're doing and branch out and open your own company. And as soon as I say this, it's almost like the angels are saying, this is not new. This is something you've entertained yourself, this idea of branching out and opening your own company. So I'm very curious as to what you do. And the second question you asked was about work and love. So this was work. If, by the way, you were to branch out and start your own company, that pen's broken. I do think this would become very fruitful for you, and I see it in the spring of next year. I say spring because if you look at the wand, see the little leaves on it? That indicates springtime. Spring's already hit for this year, 2019, so I'm going to shoot for 2020, okay? So, Emily, I'm curious as to what you do. Hit me up. Now, your second question was, what do I see about love for you? I see you've been hurt before in love, as we all have. We've all had to kiss a bajillion frogs. More recently, I feel like you haven't been able to let go of the past. Not a bad thing. Here's what I'm seeing. The Five of Cups. Here was your past relationship, and I say that because look at the 3 cups that were spilled. 2 cups are right behind you. So that tells me you're still focused on cups, by the way. Oh, let me back up. Cups in the tarot have to do with relationships, love, emotional feelings. So this is the perfect card. You asked about love. This basically tells me you're kind of stuck on the past because here's the past. The past are the 3 cups that have spilled. No worries, love. You got 2 cups behind you that are full. If you kind of let go of the past or whatever that relationship was that did you wrong, there's a river right here. You could fill up these 3 cups, but sometimes we need to just take time to heal and let whatever it is go. So it's going to be okay. I do see someone in your future, and I see them coming up. I see this by like August. Excuse me. I'm going to say why I say August. Traditionally, this is the 4 of Wands. But when you look at this, you can see, let me see if I can do it this way. You can see the wreath. The wreath has all these different flowers and plants on it. Therefore, I would say for them to all be in growth and to come to fruition, a full head, if you would, like flowers and such, I would say by the end of the summer. So I would say August is probably when you're going to meet him. And I feel like you already know this guy. Like he's casually said to you, let's grab coffee. I feel like he's also work related. He's currently at your work. So pay attention. See if there's anyone at work who brings you coffee, asks you out for coffee, and or mentions coffee, because I feel like this guy knows you and has mentioned to you. I'm sorry I keep shifting my weight, but my hiney is sore when I fell. But that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So let's pretty much just recap everything we talked about, because I see we're going on an hour and a half, and I don't want to go too long because then I'll kind of lose you. So we talked about strengthening our psychic ability. Going back from the very first week we started doing Facebook Live, we talked about notebooks, keeping a notebook, writing down 3 things in the morning before you get out of bed, what you predict is going to happen that day. And you know what? We're having so many tornadoes here in Philadelphia. That could be something if you live in this area. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I think there's going to be 4 tornadoes in the Philadelphia area. Hey, we talked about numbers, taking a partner, and you can even do this over the phone too, where you say to them, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. I'm mentally sending you the number, and then ask that person, feel the number, become the number, think of the number, and try to see if you can strengthen your psychic ability that way. The third week, we talked about another activity, which is where you take an envelope, and it has to be a privacy envelope. And then what you do is, I did shapes because, again, my colors aren't that good. Rectangles, hearts, squares, and someone puts one of the shapes in the envelope and they don't tell you what it is, and then you have to feel the envelope, and by thinking and feeling and becoming that shape, you use your psychic ability to determine what is in the envelope. And then this week, I gave you another exercise. It's called training your mind. It's where you basically think of a sound. Could be church bells, could be a train. It could be rain on a tin roof. And you set your cell phone for 5 minutes. And then basically for 5 minutes, you think of that sound in your mind. Each time your mind wanders, you imagine whatever it is that distracted you, put that thought in a red helium balloon and send it up to the sky, and go back to the beginning and think of that sound again, and do that for 5 minutes, okay? So now you have 4 activities that should strengthen your psychic muscle. Let me know how it works. I need feedback. So let me know how you're doing with this, because I need to know if it's working for you or not. And you have to be consistent. Remember, those hot guys at the gym that are built like brick shit houses and are like gods because they're gorgeous, they didn't just get that way by walking in the gym saying, I'm here. They got that way because they go to the gym every day and they work out, okay? The other thing we talked about was the universe wants to hear from you crystal clearly what you want, and there are 7 things you need to quit saying immediately. You need to quit saying, I wish, I want, I could, I hope, I try, I need, I desire. Why? Because they're passive and they're very open-ended. And the universe is like, yeah, we don't get what they want. So what you need to do is be more clear about your intentions. And to manifest them, you need to say, I choose or I choose not, because that is crystal clear, and there's no wiggle room for the universe to say, we didn't get what they meant. No, I'm crystal clear when I say, I choose a soulmate. Get me a soulmate, universe, okay? The other thing that we talked about was intentions in its simplest form. Intention is basically goals, setting forth a plan, and we can do this on the new moons. New moons basically for June is going to be June 3rd, and that's another way of looking at it is what I called in my lingo seed planting. Okay, full moons, which for June would be June 17th, is harvesting. It's basically sitting back and saying, did my intention, my goal, my plan come to fruition? It's checking in and seeing, did it happen? So when the moon is full, that's when you check in. And that's June 17th. So manifestation is the ability to get results, okay? Phoenixville Psychic Fair, I will be there September 7th from 10 to 5. It's at Main and Bridge Streets in Phoenixville, PA. If you have questions, come see me. It's basically a fair of psychics. You can walk up and down Main and Bridge Streets and you can pretty much pick your psychic and see who you want to see and get read. And then I will also be at the Media, Food, and Craft Festival, and that's Sunday, October 6th from 9 to 5, State Street and Media. I'll also have a booth, and I'll be doing angel and tarot readings as well. So those two events are on my page as well. Oh, how could I forget? And then our favorite featured items are Angels to Go. This one is Gabrielle, and they come in their own little gift bags, and they each have their name. Or this is Michael, excuse me. This is Michael. We have Gabriel. We have, here's Gabriel. And they're each 3 1/4 inches high, $7.99. Here's Raphael, known as the healer. Sorry about the little fuzz. And Uriel. Each come in their gift bags, each padded with tons of little fuzz foam that I'm pulling off. $7.99 each. If you at checkout use the code HONOR2019, you will get 25% off. And that sale is running through June 1st. That is our Memorial Day sale. To order those bad boys, you would just go to angelreadingsbykimba.com. Everything is streamlined. My Facebook page is angelreadingsbykimba.com. So just go to that, click on Enter Store, follow it to figurines, and then pretty much find Angels to Go. These are Archangels to Go. Come in a gift bag. I make sure they are bubble wrapped and sent to you in a 5 by 5 inch box. So that pretty much is tonight's podcast. Oh, we're going to California. So San Francisco, we are coming to you June 24th. So if anyone's in San Francisco, hit me up. That pretty much is your homework and another fun-filled evening with each of you. I hope I served you well, and I will talk to you tomorrow. And have a good night, and remember to love each other. Peace, love, and light. All right, everyone. Have a great night. Take care, and thanks for listening. Bye-bye.